Hello and welcome to HolisticCircle podcast, Spiritual Conversation. My name is Philipp Kobald. We are reaching out to people who are passionate about spreading light, love, and joy. And I'm happy to have here Molly Klitsch. Hello, Molly.
Hi, Philip. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Again, I forgot where you're located right now.
I'm actually in Austin, Texas.
Yes. My brain is not existing any longer. So, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong. We all know it, but let's enjoy it. So among all the many things, you said Crown Princess and so on, you're a Santeria?
I'm actually a Crown Santera. That is one of... You're close? Yes. A crowned priestess, yes.
Oh, dear Lord. I will quick say it so that people are prepared. Dear viewers, it's going to be quite a ride, so buckle up. It's not going to get boring, that I can promise you, because we're going to look in many different directions. We're going to learn about your story of initiation, the different systems that are within this in this faith, where it comes from. So a little bit of history we're going to make later on. There might be my future somewhere along the lines. We're going to little bit see into the magic of the cards and what we can get from it. And we're going to also learn about the spirits that are here. Oh, wow. We're going to little bit learn about the spirits that guide you, that you work with, the relationship you have with the spirits and how it forms your life, and basically everything else. So if who's get bored with this one, well, I don't know how to help.
I'm excited. I think this is going to be so much fun. Thank you so much for welcoming me on. This is so fantastic, Philip.
The pleasure is all mine. So if you'd be so kind, just give a couple of minutes, a little bit of a self-introduction, just make the line so people know who you are. Molly, if you'd be so kind.
My name is Molly Faith Kleitsch. I'm actually a spiritista. I'm a spiritist and a Santera.
I put the wrong name.
No, you're good.
I'm a complete idiot.
No, you're not. No. So I practice many different traditions. I'm actually spiritual. I'm a spiritist. So I'll explain a couple things. So during my path, I was crowned as a Santera. That is a crowned priestess. That was in 2021. So that would be like my past on my spiritual journey. First, I became a spiritista, a spiritist that is basically where we pray and connect our divine self to our spirit team, our spirit guides, our ancestors, the Holy Spirit, and the Most High God. And then on that journey in 2021, through many different ceremonies and traditions, I decided to become a crowned priestess as a Santera. So that was one of my paths. So I practice many different traditions that are very beautiful. I'm a bit different when it comes to being a Santera, though. And I think that it's totally outside the norm. What most individuals who practice Santeria, they may frown upon it, and that's okay. But this is what's aligned for me. I'm almost incorporating what I feel like would be aligned with my higher self and the Most High, God, what he would want me to do with this tradition. So what I have learned through the different ceremonies, studies, teachings is how I can take that and incorporate it in my own Molly way with my path. The old school tradition, in my mind, the reason why I changed it is because for me, it's a little bit lower vibrational. For me, I do it almost like, how do I describe this? I'm like a vegan, vegetarian Santera, which is kind of funny because a lot of it, the practices could be sacrificial in nature. And for me, that doesn't resonate for my spirit. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Not saying I haven't seen it. I have. And it was a lot to digest, but that was in 2021 and prior to that. So what I have been guided to do was to incorporate the teachings as well as the different sacred baths, the sacred cleanses, the prayer, and kind of incorporate it into my own, which works really, really well. So I use a lot of earth elements for healing. And that's where I've led that. I'm just babbling.
Yeah, I might stop you here because I know a little bit about the background, but there's a lot of people watching who's never ever heard about it, and they really don't know what is she talking about right now and here. So let's just a little bit see where this tradition is coming from which group or ethnic group it comes from. I mean, there's like so many different woven together, and as you said, you didn't go one way, you go a lot of which ways, but just maybe 4 or 5 minutes, just a bit of basic history and an education. There's like a lot of people watching who've never heard about this tradition. If you just to help the people along.
So Santeria is actually an Afro-Cuban tradition. It originated in Yoruba. It's based on the teachings of the Orishas, the different what people would call gods and goddesses. So my guardian angel. So we have a guardian angel mother and father that are given to us at birth. Alaikwa is my guardian angel father, and Yemaya is my guardian angel mother. One is the goddess or the Orisha of the ocean. She is very motherly, very nurturing. She washes away what people believe. It's a very old tradition, what people believe as to cleanse, wash away negativity, very loving for mothers. She is the mother of all, they say, in that tradition. Alegua is the, I like to say he's...
Sorry, but I stop you. It is a semi-formal system. I think that's the technical term, right? There is quite a structure. There's also a way of getting initiated. You cannot just read a book and say, oh, now I'm a ground princess. You have to go through a training. But it's not like a Catholic priest where you go through the seminar and it's all like, organized and very catechetisch, where everything is written down on paper. That's it, no left, no right. It is a semi-formal tradition where you need to find a already crowned princess or priest or some person like that. And you have to go through some kind of personal training. You have to be chosen. You have to choose each other. And I think this is something that, am I right about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I was divinely led to a crown priestess, a Santera, on my path, and I didn't know that's what she did. And through divination, through the Dilagoon, which is shells where the Orishas speak, only a crowned priestess, only a Santera or Santero can do the Dilagoon. It takes about 10 years of training to at least master that. So through divination, yes, what happens is you are called and you are chosen to do it. Not everybody does it. It's not for everybody's path. And it does. It takes many different stages, ceremonies, sacred teachings that are passed down word of mouth. There are a lot of books on it, yes, but you're not going to get all the information because it is sacred. There could be stuff that people research on the internet. A lot of it, I would have to say, is false. Because out of fear-based belief systems, it's just what humans have put out there. So everything is passed down from your godparents, godfathers, godmothers, which we call a madrina or a padrino. But yeah, it's hands-on training.
And that's also something that I appreciate with this tradition in that sense is that if I have a lot of people I meet and they're like the big gurus and whatever, and they're like, I've done this for centuries. Like, oh, really? Like I started 3 years ago, like 3 years. And I'm like, I teach meditation 30 years and I clearly can stake. I have no bloody idea what I'm doing. I can sign the paper anytime that I have no clue. And, 30 years I'm teaching it and I don't know what's going on. So 10 years is a different kind of a time frame to grow as a person, to grow within the spirit, to build this very deep connection with the spirit. That's because I think a lot of people are spiraling energetically and a lot of things are going on, a lot of messages are coming through, but that's not it. I mean, I think you really have to learn through this initiation process to filter it, to tune it, and to actually create value out of all of that. Would you somehow resonate with what I just said?
Absolutely. I feel like it's stages that we go through, different stages of our personal initiation as well. So for me personally, and I'll just explain this for people. So if they're wondering, okay, well, I can't just jump into this or just get all this information and look it up. At the age of 7, Philip, I was already communicating with my ancestors. I could see them. And then as I got older, the next step was to becoming a spiritist, where you build up, you start going into prayer, cleanse, you really connect your divine self. But it's a structure, it's a discipline of consistency. And that is very important, that training. And then the next stage is, depending on where you want to take it, whether, any form of training is very important. And it takes step by step and patience and discipline to do it. Because there is so much information out there. It's like some people are like, where do I start?
Right. Would you say, or this is because you started very young, so I think when young children build this connection with the spirit, is an entirely different ball game when you start, let's say, with 28 or with 31, when you first time try to connect with the spirits. I think it's a little bit different experience than when you manage to build this link as a child. Do you have any knowledge or experience? Have you seen the difference with building that link in older age versus younger?
I have. I think there's a lot less fear when you are open and receptive, or when you encounter your spirit team or your ancestors and guides as a child, because children are so open and vulnerable, and they're not fearful yet. They are literally open to receive the information with love. They can also feel the love that comes in. As we become older, there's the negative projection, the fear-based belief systems, the judgment, and what society has placed on us to believe. And so when that does happen, it's like, oh my gosh, that's scary. I'm seeing something. Am I crazy? No, you're not. You're just opening up. You're finally able to see. And it's nothing to fear. It's actually very beautiful.
I would also like to know that you ever come across or have seen that when you not build the right connection, that maybe not all the message is divine and good, and just a lot of negative message just covers itself as like, hey, I'm your guardian angel, and you get actually a lot of information that is not to your own benefit when you not work with someone who really knows the difference from actually where the source is. Do you have something to say on that matter?
Oh my gosh, that's huge. Yes, I've experienced it firsthand. Many years prior, when I was still waking up, when I was still changing and getting information, I entrusted other people who I thought were getting divine messages. But the messages came through and they were very hostile, very negative, and actually very painful for my soul and my spirit. I knew right then and there when my guides came through, they were like, that is not from the divine, Molly. That is not of love. That is not, because we're here to speak the truth, regardless. But there is a way to deliver the truth. And it's very important that we do it with grace. And we do it so we can help people, not hurt them. Our job is to, people who encounter us, we want them to leave better than they were when they came and met with us. But if they leave worse off, they're heartbroken, because these are people's lives and it's very important. So I did experience that. And I knew that the person that was doing it, they were infiltrated by a negative spirit. And the way that is why it's so important that we connect so deeply with Source. We connect our higher selves. I'm going to say God, the Most High, Source, our guardian angels, and we keep our energy cleansed and clear. And we can discern between the negative and the positive. If it hurts you and they are attacking you, that is, from my experience, is not from Source.
I think this is such an, only if people watch the podcast so far and just took this one information, that you have to be, I think, super careful whom you entrust to deliver you this message. If you do not have the ability to get it directly from the source, if you need an intermedium, because that is what you are in effect. I mean, I have the chance to talk to the divine myself and get the information. If I'm not capable, I don't have the time or the capacity or whatever, if I'm just basically, just a guy, then I can contact you. But have to be extremely, extremely careful to come to a person that, first of all, is really connected. How do you know? That's always the thing. And
Yeah.
secondly, who is connected with a positive message and who is not infiltrated, as you said, with some negative spirits who are just, like to make fun and like to send us in the wrong direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that is literally what happened to me. So it could open my eyes. Source was basically showing me exactly what not to do, giving me the information I needed for me to grow, but exactly what not to do, where not to go, because it kind of like veered me off my path until I was able to correct myself by basically going into hermit and it was me one-on-one with the Most High. And then also, thank goodness, because of him, allowing my spirit team to strengthen and come in and speak more and more. Because you have to be very cautious. It's programming as well. What we allow into our mind, we think about, and then it can program like our emotions, what we're thinking. It can program doubt into us, fear. We are not operating in fear and doubt. We are transitioning into love. We have the power and authority to make those shifts in our life. So we have to be very cautious.
Right. So we know that this is all basically African based and came with all the transition, came to this Cuban, as you said, Aruba, all of it. And there it melted together from so many different original sources, because so many different African areas people came and they brought it and it got transformed, it brought into something newish. But is this tradition now, I think it's very much alive in America. In Europe, I don't know so many. There are other traditions or pagan traditions that come through. Is it? I have a feeling it's very popular in America, so also in the movies and everything. But you have good experience, doubtful experience. There's a whole system within, and now maybe not all the viewers will entirely follow us, but just a little bit for those who are aware. Can we spend a couple of minutes to see that every light has a shadow and every structure, every system has its rules, and they don't apply to everyone. And so you had to make your own decision to step out of this fluffy comfort little box where you were well and received, and had to say, this is not completely fitting. I'm looking for more, and you have looked and you have found.
Absolutely. I feel like with any tradition or any religion, because it is a religion, there's always going to be a light and a dark side to everything. It depends on what aligns for you. With Santeria, I saw a lot of the dark side of it. And the reason why I knew it wasn't...
Sorry, can I just, for people who may be now confused, Santeria and Voodoo, where are there are distinct differences, right? It's a different background, somehow overlapping and melting, but the same area of the US, but somehow very different, right? I'm
going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with Voodoo. I not very much. I feel like it's completely different. What I do know is, I believe it's Haitian. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. The way that they look at, because I don't think the way that they would consider the Orishas is they fear them. My Orishas that I work with are angelic divine beings. They're elevated and lifted up, and they work and they come directly and work for God. So it's a completely different tradition. And I'm different. I don't petition. I don't do any manipulation or anything like that. I literally just love all my guides and angels. So it is very different. But I am not very familiar with Voodoo. So I'm not the right person to ask with that. Which is
a good thing, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a good thing. I do know that it takes a lot of energy to manipulate anything. And I'm really big on the power of prayer. Not everybody is, but I really do believe in it. And that's why, so like Spiritism is based on the studies of Allan Kardec. He's actually was a French professor. And it's mysticism, it's science, it's Catholicism, and it's Christianity. It's a mixture. And he's French. He is now passed. It was the 1800s. So that's one of the traditions. And then you bring that in, and then you bring in an Afro-Cuban tradition. And then you've got this beautiful blend, along with, and yes, there is paganism, which I'm not very familiar with. I am really big on transmutation and alchemizing energy. I do believe that we can incorporate that as well into our practices for our well-being and our spiritual development.
The reason why I brought it up, because just want to trick to people understand who are still not familiar with the concept, that you can either, but you just give you such a beautiful answer that you take you're opening yourself as a channel, you work with the divine, you work with these angels, and that's all for prayer, initiation, and all of the things you're going through, connected deeper and deeper with these guardian angels, and that's what you bring through. And it's supposed to theoretically, as you said, be light, be helping, be loving.
Yeah.
That there is always, once you have power, even in your world, chances of manipulation and trickstery and so on. That is what you saw in some moments. Couldn't be there, but it's part of the tradition. And this is when it crosses into the other way of taking energies from does not have to be necessarily dark spirits, but it's more earth connected spirits. And you work with these from the down element. It can be also positive and it can be loving as well, but it's a bit more rough earth creatures, and quite often is used not only for the good itself, it's used for power and control, and
absolutely,
and it's a wild thing. And this is basically why you said that the voodoo fears a little bit the angels, so to say, but we do not need to go so far. All right, but wherever, in any form, in paganism, wherever you go, you find light, you find darkness, and
absolutely.
you find white priests, and you find black priests, and you find people who try to control and manipulate others, and you find the ones who just want to heal others. And I think that's what the people need to know going forward. I think that's fair enough.
I have a really good example for everybody to kind of understand. Okay, there is one of the Orishas. His name is Ochosi, and he has a bow and arrow. He is for justice. A lot of people will use Ochosi to control or hurt people. That's the dark side of things. What Ochosi is actually for is spiritual ascension. He takes that bow and arrow and he helps you as you are in prayer and you're doing your work, just for spiritual ascension and enlightenment. So you can ask your guides, okay, whether it be Archangel Michael to clear things out of the way, whether it's Ochosi to help you with spiritual enlightenment and clarity, that's actually how it's supposed to be used. But what people do is they'll take the dark side of it and they'll use it to try and manipulate and harm people, which you are actually, it's against divine law and order to do that. So I hope that helps.
Huge harm, and it's a huge harm and self-risk. I mean, you're doing this for a very high price. That is clear. Give us now like 2-3 more minutes before we move on. So when I'm now in Aruba, I'm seeing a village all colorful, and there is that most probably usually elderly lady dressed in white, and maybe there's some young girls who are learning around her that's supposed to learn. Why do I come to her? Why does the village people, what is her function in this raw historic setting? Is she like a town mayor? Is she like a medicine man? Is she a healer? Is she a fortune teller? Is she a protector of the spirits of the village? What is her role in this village?
I would say that's a really good question. I would say it really depends, but it's a combination. Yes, we are healers. We have the teachings and the ability to help people heal with different herbal prescriptions, different cleanses, but also it's about teaching others how they can do it for themselves. Also, somebody who is a communicator, I would say a medium, a mystic with the spirit realm, a healer, a medium, a protector, because also that's another thing about the feminine energy or the mystics that are out there. They are seers, and they are very, very protected by their spirits, their spiritual team, and the people around them, if they are at a high vibration, are very, very much protected as well, divinely protected.
And is a female role only, or are there also male priestess or men are just basically sitting and drinking beer?
That's a funny question. There are male as well. There's Santeros. I feel like it's just a little bit different of the way that they approach things. I feel like the feminines are more motherly. They're the mothers. the nurturers, that divine feminine energy. The masculines are more of the doers. They're the go-getters. But both of them have very, very important roles. And it is very hard work. But yes, there are. And there's also Babalaos, which is another tradition of mine, which is Ifa. Those are the high priest, but only males can do it. It's still pretty old school.
And does men take female students and female women take male students, or it's always male to male and female to female? How is it organized in this tradition?
Oh, no. We usually have a godmother and a godfather. We usually have both. Depending on the cleanses that we would need, a feminine energy, a woman would handle another woman, because there are situations where you wouldn't want a man to do it. It's, pretty conservative.
That's what I thought. I mean, it's a religion after all. And
right.
That's why we have some judo in the background for the ones. It's a paganism where everybody's naked and running around in the forest.
Right.
I just had here Gardnerian the other day. I mean, clothing's come off quicker than you can count the free.
Philip, that's actually so true, because it's funny when I made Sancho, all the men had to turn around and I had all the women. I'm just going to tell the story. I had the women around me because literally I was in the river and I was doing a cleanse, part of my ceremony, and I was naked. So all the men had to go.
So that's not Gardnerian. They're all come.
Oh my God.
There you go. Different tradition, And you can choose your podcast any way you like.
It's funny.
Yes, I am. It's a serious conversation. So if you're not funny about the spirits, if you're not laughing with the energies, I think it can get dangerous. We must keep a good respect. That's how we show respect, if we love together.
Absolutely.
All right. So last quick mini question. Do you already take on students? Will you follow this tradition? Will you give it on? Are you thinking that at some moment in your life you will have the moment where you want to pass this on? Or you think, no, I'll have so much developed my own system. I'm careful about that.
What I have started to do is I've actually taken on people who pray with me with the practices of Allan Kardec on that side, where we do pray together. It's been really healing. For a lot of people. That's where I would start. When it comes to Santeria, if I were to do it, I was actually, through divination, I was told that I was supposed to be a godmother. The way that I would particularly practice it, I would incorporate a new evolved version with probably the old practices, but it would definitely be much more elevated. Not saying that it's not. It's beautiful the way it is. But if I were to do it, it would be aligned with the way God would want me particularly to do it, where it's very, very elevated. There is nothing low vibrational, nothing sacrificial, nothing like that would be included in what I do. So I'm not sure yet. I think it would be very much.
You're still young, so you have long ways to go.
Yeah, so I don't know how that would work, but thank you.
All right, so now let's look what you do now. So people know if you've come now, you've learned so much, you know so much. You didn't done this in a weekend seminar, not in 6 months, not in 1 year, not in 3 years. You have really a background and a knowledge and a strength and you hold space, you hold it for real. Now we have understood all of it. Can you a little bit tell us the different things that you do, and then maybe show us some of the techniques? I think you will have like 3 times the clown with me, and that's it.
You're awesome. I love that we can laugh and have fun with this. It's really important. So what do I do? I'm very multifaceted. So right now I'm actually on YouTube. I do channeled collective messages, divinely guided, and I love it. It makes me so happy. And everything that I put out, I do my best to do it neutrally so that way I can benefit people. I also really like to incorporate some guidance in there and a lot of motivation, a lot of affirmations so people can be empowered. That's really what I love doing, is empowering others. I I do have a business that people can book personal readings at, or they can get cleansing items, because everything that I do, I want it to lead people in a positive direction to where they can stay cleansed, balanced, and elevate their spirit. It's really, and connect to source. That is the most important thing, is connecting to God and doing the healing work. So I try to guide people in my own way of what I've learned, how to really dive deep within to take our power back. It's about really taking back your power, because no one outside of us has power and authority over us. We do. So it's about finding that strength, getting your power back. I teach people how to do that in my own way, the ways that I've learned with love. I do have the walk.
Wait, whoa. Sorry, because you're an expert here. Now I have to ask you a serious question. Because now you talk cleansing, and I have to jump in because I've asked the same question, I think, on 12 different podcasts. You know that there are bad spirits and people got attached and connected to bad spirits. I'm sure this is all very much knowledge to you. Do you think that a person has its own divine power, cleanse himself from these bad spirits, or you think that can only work in combination with a divine power that you have to pray, please get this cleanse me? You're an expert, so please tell me.
It's a very interesting question. With prayer, I do not believe that it's about begging at all. There was a period of time, though, don't get me wrong, where I was literally begging for my life because I was so sick. I feel like it's a combination. It's about being disciplined in prayer, because with prayer, what that's doing is that is connecting you. It's teaching you humility, surrender, forgiveness. It's a guide. So I feel like prayer is number one. I do feel like cleanses, because we are energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one thing to another. It's very important that we smudge our space. We take whatever it is to cleanse, but also, yes, the more that you stay in the light, the more that you elevate your spirit and you connect to source, you build up this light body, this strength, that negative energy really can't attach itself to you. But it's also, we need to stay humble. That's what prayer does. We have to stay humble and understand that everything flows through us, the universe, God, our guides, but there are way more powerful things than us that are in the spirit realm, because we're still in flesh. We're still stuck to the earth. So there are things that protect us, that will surround us. So it's
in a good or bad way?
Oh, in a beautiful way. In a beautiful way. Our guardian angels love us. Our ancestors love us. God loves us. Our spirit team, my gypsy, who is my main spirit guide, she is beautiful. They love us. So it's really a combination about building up our own heart space, our connection to God with prayer, and also staying cleansed, cleansing our space, staying at a high vibration, positive thinking, doing everything with love as well. And what we put out, we will get back as well. So it's really important to do the healing work inside, because as within, so without. Whatever we're going to project, we're going to attract that. Or whatever we're feeling on the inside, we're going to attract it. If we're feeling love and peace, then we're going to get love and peace. So it's a good combination. I hope that answered your question.
A little bit diplomatic answer, but I guess you can see spirits. I guess you can see aura also with other people. I'm sure you have this clairvoyant capacities to look at people's auras.
I can see spirits. I can literally see spirits on people. My son actually has that gift as well. I can sense energy. I can feel the energy from afar as well. It's not so much that it's auras. I can just see them. I can sense. The
spirits.
Yeah.
So you know when people have a negative energy stuck to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to ask again, I'm a little bit annoying. So if a person comes to you and has a negative energy stuck on them, do you think through cleansing and without prayer, that through cleansing, whatever he does, or meditation or sound bath or whatever he does, that he can get it unstuck without the prayer?
No, I don't. I feel like it's temporary. And I know this firsthand because I experienced it. I was very sick, very, very sick. And I went to Sedona and I saw many different practitioners. I did breath work We did sound healing. We did magnet energy clearing. I saw a hypnotherapist. We did chakra clearing. I think it lasted for about a month. I even did a bath prior. That was temporary. The only thing that really, really made a shift in my life was building my Boveda and really getting disciplined with prayer and then incorporating everything. So no, with my own firsthand experience, absolutely not.
Tell to my viewer, I've asked this question a lot of experts, and so far only one person said that you can do it all by yourself. Everyone else agree only through prayer. Whatever you pray to. There are some people who are totally agnostic or whatever. Some are religious. There's a whole mixture, but you have to pray to the source, to the divine, to your guardian angels to help you with this negative energy being stuck to you. So it's, I think, 10-1 so far.
Yeah, so it's a combination. We have to incorporate prayer. We have to be humble. I understand that source flows through us, but we are not God. And so we need to really, it teaches you how to connect and to stay connected, to stay humble, and to operate. Yeah, really, it's about surrender and being humble, but also the cleanses, the frequencies, the meditation. That's crucial. We have to remember who we are and what flows through us, the divine. Absolutely. It is a combination. But we're not more powerful than our creator. That's just my path.
Yeah, I see those wonderful card deck here. Can you a little bit explain us the history of tarot, why it works? Is it a tool for you to see, or are the cards itself work, or you make them work? That is something I always was wondering. If my daughter, whatever, takes some card deck and like, here you go, that's your future. Is this the future? Or is it you, first of all, because through your hands, the divine is mixing it? Or is it your interpretation that's guided by the divine? What do you think are the key elements why it works with you and or does it work with everyone else? I'm interested.
I think it's different for everyone. We do have chakras in our hands, yes. But I'm a mystic. What we would call in our tradition, which I don't know if is a medium mystic. Okay, so it's a tool that I use. It's one of the many tools. So I even have crystal balls. I have what we call shamalongos. We do obi, but with the cards, I call in my team. I call in my guardian angels. I call in the Holy Spirit, the Most High, my gypsy, my beautiful gypsy, and I allow. So I'm an open channel. I allow with the divine to come through and give me the messages. So it's messages that I literally am just a vessel. I open my mouth and I allow the messages to come through and I'll speak it. Or whatever vision comes through. They'll point things out to me, or I'll get songs or different words. I just surrender to them and I allow them, they're speaking. I'm just the voice.
But you're seeing those symbols, but that's why I'm for me easy. If you would just sit there and let it flow through, I'm like, okay, that's great. But these cards have meaning, have symbols. So I don't understand the connection between that.
Okay, they do have symbols and meanings. Absolutely. If you were to just look at the card. So let's see. We've got the Chariot as they're giving me the image. So right now, they're giving me an image of the Chariot card. The Chariot is fast forward movement, is victory. You're moving forward swiftly. It's basically like that wagon, that chariot is going. And you better hop on or you're going to miss it, right? Because it's full speed ahead. So there is a description of the chariot, but depending on what comes through, it could mean other things depending on the surrounding cards. And it could be like, okay, somebody's going to travel to you. You're going to get a new car. There's something moving forward. So it all depends on the particular channeled messages that are coming through with regards to that.
All right. And last question. So if I go online website and I get the tarot information for free, is this also a divine message through the internet, or that is literally just real nonsense?
I wouldn't say it's nonsense. I think it's a really good base for people to learn. They're going to want to learn the cards, the different meanings, and then they can practice. It's practicing listening to your intuition, your higher guidance, at what you see, what you feel. So I would get a deck of cards. I would definitely, though, this is very important, cleanse your space, cleanse your energy. Make sure that your spirit is connected to source. Before you start channeling with spirits, make sure that your space is protected. So that's very important. And then what you can do is you can, and whatever prayers, and my prayers may not work for everyone. Everyone can have their own prayer. It does not matter. It's just connect to something greater than you, something higher within your heart. And then, you can get into the cards and you can just try it out. You can look online, you can get books and just make it your own with your guides.
You're such a nice person, Tara.
Thank you, Philip.
I can't take it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I'm sorry.
You sound almost like a quantum physics. Everything is yes. Oh yeah, you can do this. Something good will come out. Oh, you can do this.
Absolutely.
Go away. We will see.
It's true though. I've seen the darkness like no other. I've been through the darkness and I have crawled out of it. So I know firsthand what is possible. I do, Philip. Thank you for saying I'm so nice.
No.
I've seen the darkness.
You've been around, and the calmness, the tranquility of a person who actually came to the mountain and saw the light. Now you look down on all the steps that you had to walk to go up here, and like without any of these steps, I would have not come where I am now. So you've made peace with the path that you have taken.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I mean, this is getting crazy now, people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. What do you feel like showing us a little bit some cards so that people can see what they would expect? Just a minute or two or a couple, do you think, or it's not fitting, whatever inspires?
Absolutely. So I'm not going to do my full prayer that I would do on my channel, but I will call in the Holy Spirit because I'm really big on that. So I'll call in the Holy Spirit. I'll call in my guardian angels and my gypsy, my main spirit guide, and the Most High to watch over and protect us. And let's just pull a couple of messages. Please watch over and protect us. And please give me clear messages for everyone. Please and thank you. Okay, I'm just going to pull a couple of you guys and Philip and see what comes out. What does everyone need to know at this time? Something with manifestation, possibly with the magician. What do we have? Okay, so the Queen of Cups is somebody who's very nurturing, very loving. Could be a mother, somebody who is very intuitive as well. And then we have the Magician here. This is about manifestation or being able to manifest things. So you may, and masculine can be feminine, feminine can be masculine, but there's something here about being a master manifester and doing it in a state of love. The Moon. I hope they're not... Okay, there's something with a manifestation for somebody. It could be one of your viewers or for you. There's something with a manifestation that's coming into fruition that is still manifesting in the spirit realm that is unseen. But as long as everyone does it with love, follows that higher guidance, they're going to move forward very successfully with the Six of Wands. This is forward movement, recognition, reward, something really beneficial for anybody watching. So keep praying, keep manifesting however you do it with love. Follow your higher guidance, your intuition, always. Your spirit team is with you. The divine is with you. Even if you can't see it yet, it's believing before it's here, before you can touch it. And it will move forward successfully. So that was just that was very quick.
But it was wonderful. I think we all want to take it. So, and I think we're giving it to all the viewers. This is for each and every one for you, because if you actually manage that, what you just said, if you connect with love, if you're in love, if you practice love, if you work on love, and if you trust and surrender, that is something that is, we are in meditation, we're very big on that one. That is one of the big themes in meditation. Trust and surrender. Trust and surrender is crucial. Otherwise, you cannot move forward. There's a natural barrier. You can take meditation so and so far, but if you want to move on, it's been given to you. So you cannot force it. This trust and surrender that you have to believe it's there before you can actually see it is definitely also a theme that is very strong in clairvoyance, and is also very strong in meditation, most probably in every spiritual practice, because before you have the gift, you have to trust and believe that the gift is actually there, right?
Right. And we're all gifted. That is so important for people to realize. Everyone has a beautiful gift. They are all divine.
So this sounds a really reading for the podcast, not for me or maybe the viewers, but for the podcast, because that's what I'm trying to do. It's written in my description of the podcast. You won't find answers here, but I hope you will find the question.
Wow.
That's the description. That's the description of my podcast and the wish I have for people, because, once you have the good question, well, half the road is already done.
Absolutely. Thank you, Philipp.
Well, Molly, this was an amazing conversation, an amazing first look into a world that is unknown to most of us. And I think you've given us such a strong confidence and trust in you and your abilities, and that you have so much love and honesty where you come from. We all can feel it. And as you said, you've been through a whole life journey to come where you are now. You can smile, and with me together we can be relaxed, and we can both believe in love and light, and to make people happy and to make people grow. And the things we send out ultimately will come back to us. Molly, I'll thank you so very much, and all the informations will be on the bottom of the YouTube, the links and everything. And
thank you.
I'll thank you so very much.
Thank you too, Philipp. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And yeah.